On tonight's show, we have singer, songwriter, and producer Lindsey Ray. And now for your host, KoolKard. Hey, what up, y'all? It's KoolKard, episode 5 of Kickin with KoolKard. Thank you guys for tuning in once again. Thank everybody for tuning in last week. We are back with another guest. Yes. Hey, came to bring you some more value, some more knowledge. If you are into music, if you are a musician, if you are an artist, if you are a writer, you will want to stick around. You'll want to hear what this guest has to say because she does know a lot and she does a lot and she's doing a thing. All right. So you make sure that you stick around, tune in, and get a notepad because it's going to be some nuggets. It's gonna be some nuggets dropped for you, okay? All right. So we're not gonna talk too much this time. We're just gonna get into it. I got Lindsey Ray, Ray Blue, Lindsey Ray. Listen, we got all types of names, all types of identities, and we'll get into that. So you'll see and check her out. Lindsey! What's happening?
Oh, I'm just so happy.
You're always happy. Ever since I've known you, I've known her for a while, guys. So ever since I've known this girl, all she does is laugh and smile. Happy. I think that's why you write so well.
Certainly probably why I write happy songs.
Right, which is a good thing. Which is a good thing. So where are you in the world today? Where are you living?
I'm in Nashville, Tennessee.
Nashville, okay. Music City.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a big difference from New York, though, right?
Big difference from New York. Big difference from. I know, it's crazy. I haven't been to New York for so long.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like there isn't. I mean, I'm sure there's still a music scene there, but it's just. It seems
weird.
like
it's
mostly
weird.
LA and Nashville.
It's totally changed since we were out there. It's weird. It's a different vibe. And if you listen to the radio, it's all Southern music.
Yeah.
Other than the throwback shows and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're originally from Maine, right?
Yes, small town, Belfast, Maine.
Yeah. And how long have you been performing? Like, where does your love for the music come from?
Oh gosh. Well, I mean, it's so cheesy to say this, but it's true. It literally started from the time I was in diapers. Like, we have pictures of me holding a microphone and singing. I grew up around music, so I was always around it and I always loved it. And by the time I was in kindergarten, I knew for sure that I wanted to be a singer, and I was adamant about it. So it started really early, but I didn't really do anything to go after it necessarily until around 13. I went to LA and did this talent competition thing called IMTA. So that was kind of the start of it, like met with agents and stuff. And then it wasn't until I started going to Double Fat in New York, where I met you at 16. That was the first time that I started feeling like a professional, I guess, or dipping my toes into being a professional.
Right.
So that was
So when you went out to LA when you were at the age of 13, was that your decision? Is that something that you were like begging your parents to do for you?
Yes.
Yeah, so it was you. Okay. And so like I know that so you're a singer, right?
Yes.
Songwriter.
Yes.
And music producer.
Yes, which is so weird, but yes.
So yeah, I didn't know that side of you, so that's new for me. So,
yeah.
Which one is like, are you a writer who happens to sing and perform, or are you a singer and a performer who happens to write?
Singer first, definitely. Singer first. The performer thing, I still feel weird even calling myself a performer because I don't do it that often.
Okay.
But when I do, here's the thing, I'm very shy. So I always think.
Oh, really?
Yes, and I always have been. So I always think like, no, when I used to play shows in LA, I literally would like work myself up like sick right before I was going on a stage. I was like, why am I doing this to myself? I hate this. And then I get up there and I enjoy it. I always love it. It's just that, I don't know, I'm still, it's bad. I still am shy. So.
Well, you play it off well, because I would never get that from just seeing, just being around you, you're bubbly, you laugh and have a good time. And then when you're performing, it's like, it's natural. And
Yeah.
you don't get that from you. So,
Well, that is what everybody says.
but
So I guess that's
that's
good.
being a good performer. I mean, you're entertaining. So,
Well, that's true. I do when I'm on stage. I kind of like feel like an actor, I guess, and I just
okay.
feel like, well, it's too late now. The show is happening. So let's go on. But yeah, singer first for sure. And then I didn't start writing until, I mean, I dabbled a little bit in New York in those days working with everyone. Like LB sometimes would lock me in a room and be like, "You're going to write this verse," and I would freak. Um, but I didn't like sit down and write my own full song until I was 23.
Really?
Yeah.
And now it's like blossoming because it's we'll talk about that, but yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I do.
crazy.
I identify as a writer now, but I never thought I would write. I always thought I would just be a singer and people would write songs for me and produce it for me. And really all I wanted was a record deal and to be a singer. And I wanted to like, tour
But
the world and stuff. I don't know.
I think as you mature, you kind of grow into knowing better and wanting more. Because when you're a child, it's just I want to be a star, I want to sing, I want to I want to be in lights, and I just want to travel and have fun, whatever. But now you get it, and I'm pretty sure you're more savvy, more business savvy. So
Yeah,
it's a business for you now,
it
right?
is. It is.
You're a businesswoman. You got your own label.
Yes.
You write.
Yeah.
You get placements.
Yes.
You're working. Hence the title of this show that I put on YouTube. It's music more than fame. And by the way, Chi says hi. He's in the comments over here. Yeah. So, but yeah, so you're a business now. So now you get it, you understand it. So okay, so for now that you're writing more now, and you start writing at 23, do you value I don't want to say value, but do you get more enjoyment out of the writing?
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because as soon as I started writing, then it's not about, I'm not interpreting somebody else's feelings and emotions, which I know I can do that and that's good and well and fine. But yeah, it was more fun and it's more therapeutic to talk about my own things. Um, like actually, the first song that I wrote was right after a friend from high school died.
Oh.
Um, I mean, we were out of high school, we were 23, but he passed away suddenly and I was obviously moved by that and sad. And so I wrote about it and wrote this song that I sent to his father and that kind of got the ball rolling. And then, yeah. And then like when my dad passed away, I used that as a tool for a coping mechanism. And I wrote a lot and I actually wrote a lot of happy.
Wait. Oh, I'm sorry. Your dad passed away?
Yes. In 2008. Yeah.
Oh, wow. I'm sorry to hear that. I did not know that.
Did you ever meet my dad?
Yeah, I met your dad.
You did.
Yeah.
Oh,
Several times. He was the one
yeah.
always bringing you to the city.
Yes. I know. Which when I think about that now, I mean, I do a lot of driving, but
God.
he would drive 7 hours. He would drive all the way from Belfast, Maine to New York City, drop me off at the studio, maybe spend, 10, 15 minutes
Minutes, and he was
in there,
gone.
and stay with all these people that he barely knew that were just like, yeah, I'm going to make your daughter a star, and then turn around and drive all the way home in the same day.
Yeah. That was just God, though. That was just God. You wouldn't do that these days in this day and time.
No,
You wouldn't do that now, but yeah, that was just God. But I mean, it did something for you. It made a difference in who you are and who you became.
it did. Absolutely.
Yeah. So what about instruments? Do you play any instruments?
Yeah, so I've always played piano. I grew up around the piano, played by ear from the time I was 5, probably, is when I started playing. So I still do that, and that's obviously a great tool to use when I'm writing. And I play a little bit of guitar and ukulele, but I mostly just play the piano.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, how does being able to play an instrument enhance your writing capabilities?
Oh, I mean, immensely because, yeah, I tend when I'm writing, I hear the music first. Like I'm not someone who writes lyrics and then goes and tries to figure out how to turn it into a song.
Right.
The music always comes first for me. I'll hear
Melodies,
like
right?
yeah, melodies, but honestly, I hear like full production usually. Like I hear the bass line usually first, or if it's a piano thing, I'll hear piano, but it kind of downloads all at once, and then I have to run to the piano and do a voice note and record it, and then I go, now that, well, we can get to that, but well, anyway, whatever. I'm going to go now. I was just going to say that's why I eventually got into producing as well, because I always had a really clear idea of what I was hearing, and I just assumed, I don't know, I guess I just assumed that, like, surely I wouldn't be good at that, so I never did it, and I just let other people do it.
Right.
But I also had a lot of opinions in the studio. And I know a lot of producers that worked with me were like, okay, yeah, no, I got it. I was like, well, maybe what if the horn did this? Or, I heard it. So eventually I took it all into my own hands and just started playing around. And I never, I still don't feel like I'm very good at it by any means, but I guess I'm good enough to have been able to. My Olly Anna project, I did that first, or the only album that I put out, full-length album. I did that all 100%. So.
Oh, wow.
That's kind of
Kudos
something
to you.
I do. Well, you should listen to it. You'll be like, no, I can tell.
Hey,
I'm kidding.
I'm gonna check it out. I'll check it out for sure. And for you guys who are watching, if you want to listen to any of her music, and we're gonna talk about these personalities you have too, because she's not just one artist. There's
Yeah.
Three in one. You get 3 in 1 with her. But all the links are in the description. You can check all her projects out on Spotify, Apple Music, and it's 3 different entities, and she's going to talk about that. But before we talk about that, I want to double back real quick. And can you tell people the importance of being able to write your own music that you perform, as far as the feeling and all that, and then ownership? See, people in business, everybody. Okay, nowadays everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. Everybody wants to talk ownership. I own this. I run this. I'm my own boss. But if you don't own it, you really don't have the power to do what you want to do with it. So, but when people think music, they don't think ownership, especially these young people. Especially people who are younger and don't really get it yet. They don't think ownership when it comes to music. They just know that they want to do a song, make a hit, get a deal, travel, get money. But ownership in music is the writing, is the producing, is the key. Can you speak on that, please?
Yes. Yes. Well, I mean, the most basic way to say it is if you own your publishing and your song gets used somewhere, or if your song is on the radio or something, you're going to generate more income from that because you own a larger percentage, right? So that's just the basic part of it. And then in terms of like the master, the recording part of it, if you were to sign a record deal, the record label owns most of the master. So you're not really, deals are different. They all are worked out differently, but you get a little bit of the master, but really, if you're a touring artist, if you don't write your songs and you're signed to a label, you're probably making most of your money from touring.
Touring, yeah. You're a slave now because you have to perform to get paid.
Right.
Pretty much.
Right. Of course, nowadays there's a lot of artists. If you're a big name artist, you have what's the word I'm looking for? You have some weight in the room, right? So you could take a song that you didn't even write, but you could take publishing on it. A lot of artists do that nowadays because they can, because someone who's a small writer who doesn't have a lot to their name will say, well, yeah, sure, I'll let Beyonce cut my song, even if she wants to take 50% of the publishing, because it's Beyonce.
Right.
And
they want the opportunity.
Yeah, so it's really tricky business-wise because it all depends on the circumstance that you're in. Like if I was signed to a publishing deal right now, the publisher would be getting 50% of my publishing. But if I didn't already have connections and I didn't know producers or people to get into the studio with, if I was just starting out, that would be worth me giving that up, because that company would then, they have all the connections, so they would be connecting me to people, and it would make sense. So when I first started out, I did have a publishing deal. Right. But then eventually, once I had met enough people and had established enough relationships, when my publishing deal was up, I opted to not re-sign. Right. Because I just wanted to see what would happen if I built up my catalog, meaning, like, I guess in my mind I was shooting for the stars, so I thought, well, what if I write a hit song for some big name artist and it gets on the radio and I own my publishing? Now I'm in a position where years down the road, once that's accumulated enough income, I could decide to sell off my publishing to a company. Right. And make bank. Like, people do that. So I went for that one. So So I went for that, and then when I started writing my own songs and working in the music licensing side of things, I wasn't intending to do that, but once I did start to go that way, it was a huge benefit for me to own my publishing, because now clients and companies that are looking for music, they don't have to go through a publishing company to get to me. They only have to go to my licensing representative.
Okay.
Yeah, so that just makes everything easier. And the fact that I own my masters, now if I get a song on a commercial and my song's on Spotify and I get, I only have one that's pretty high, and it's like, I mean, it's not even that high comparatively speaking to big artists, but it's 4.5 million, which for me is really high.
Yeah.
And
what song is that, so people can go pump them numbers up?
Oh, it's called Get Dat.
Get Dat. And which artist?
Rayelle.
Okay. So yeah, so you guys go pump that. Rayelle, the link to below. Get that. Get those numbers up for her.
Get Dat?
Get that?
D-A-T? Okay.
Yeah, go listen to everything. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. So okay, so let me ask you this, and we're not gonna dive too deep into this, but publishing, do you have your own publishing company, or you do not publish it at all and you just let the licensing company handle that and you just copyright everything?
Yeah, I have my own publishing company. So everybody, like, once you sign up with, like ASCAP or BMI or whatever, you have your own publishing company name. So I have mine, that's Eleanor Ray Publishing. Okay. And then Secret Road, the company that represents me for music licensing, they administer that publishing company for me.
Okay, got you. Okay.
They negotiate everything on my behalf. They collect everything for me, and they take a percentage to do that. But it's still, again, it's one of those things. It's worth it for what they do for me. They do everything for me, really.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
music.
And yeah, all the placements you get, I mean, yeah, they're worth it.
That is all them. They are very, very good, and they know what they're doing. They've been doing it for a lot of years. And I eventually started to learn, just from doing it for however many years. I mean, my first placement on TV was in 2008 with a Target commercial under my Lindsey Ray name.
I remember that.
Yeah, and like that was huge for me. That was right when I moved to LA from the small town that I lived in Maine. That was a big deal for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. That's crazy. That's been a minute too.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And so, yeah, I just started learning like what it was that made something licensable, and which changes over time because trends change. If you're paying attention to commercials, years ago it was like cutesy singer-songwriter stuff. So I that's what I made. And then eventually it became kind of more like punk rock, which is what I did with that band Farmdale that I was in with my ex.
Right.
And then it kind of got a little more hip hop or just more, I don't even know if it's hip hop, but it's like a little, it's a little more poppy, urban, like dancey.
Yeah.
And that's where Rayelle and Olly Anna came to be, because I just started making music that fit the style and the trends.
Yeah. For business. It's a business decision pretty much.
It was, but it was also, I wanted to have fun, and it just made it more fun because creatively I got to try something new that I hadn't done before, and I get bored really easily.
I could tell with 3 entities.
Yeah. And I might be getting bored. I don't know. I might create a new one.
You probably will. So for somebody watching who's a writer, and they're like, "Oh my God, that sounds cool. But how do I do that? How do I get a licensing deal? How do I get in touch with these licensing companies?" And most of all, speak on how to become a better writer to get those opportunities.
Oh, that's a good question. Well, I mean, becoming a better writer, I think collaborating in the beginning is a good way, because you learn from all the people that you collaborate with. You learn just different styles and approaches, and you start to kind of have all these different tools that you can bring with you along the way. Paying attention to what's working, what's on the radio, what's currently on commercials and TV shows and things. I guess I'm kind of a researcher a little bit by nature, so I tend to just pay attention. And usually when I hear something that I really like, I don't go like, "Oh, I really like that." I'm like, I could have done that. I want to do that. But I want to kind of see if I can do my own version of it. And of course, not ripping it off or anything, but like just trying, like, well, I want to see what it's like if I do something that's a more urban hip hop beat, or what, just
But that's
stuff
good
out.
though,
So.
because you keep challenging yourself, and that's what a writer should do. That's what a performer should do. Just keep challenging yourself to get better.
Well, and it's just staying inspired, because I honestly think you can tell when something sounds like it was coming from inspiration or not. If people are just doing something, because a lot of people, I will tell you this, a lot of people who think they want to write and be in music licensing, they hear commercials and they hear a simple lyric and they think, oh, I could write that. And then they write a really simple, silly, cheesy song that like isn't, it's like, yeah, it's really simple and maybe it's happy, but do you want to listen to it?
Right.
And like you still have to make something that you're like, all right, I could get down to this. And I'll be honest, I certainly have written a lot of songs, and I definitely have written some that I like more than others.
I mean, yeah, as everybody.
Parts of the wall, you just try and you do one, and then you're like, I didn't love that, and then you move on and you do another one. You just keep going and just keep evolving and stay excited, I guess, which is, I don't know, that's kind of hard to say, but I do feel like that's part of it. You just got to stay inspired and remember why you're doing it, why you started in the first place.
Right.
Like, making music to make money, or are you making music because you can't not make music?
So,
you know?
Yeah. So, and that goes into another question, because I was going to ask you, for just as advice, what are all the ways or more ways, because you got licensing, right? I'm talking about, okay, music is more than fame. Are you doing music to feed your family, to provide for yourself, and because you love to do it? Or do you just want fame? Do you just want to leave the hype,
Right.
get money, act a fool, like, what are ways, because it doesn't have to be that. Like, I think people think it has to be that, and I'm pretty sure they have a desire to be that, but they have to know that it's more to it than that. Like, you can make money, you can make a good living just licensing your music, writing for other artists. You could be a regional act and just perform all over the region and make good. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? So,
yeah, I think I think that the trick with it is that a lot of it's your definition of success, right? So a lot of people think fame equals success. And maybe to somebody it does. And maybe when I was younger, I would have thought that same thing. But for me, being a mature woman now, what really fulfills my soul and makes me happy is just, I like making music. I want to be able to do this for a living. I want to be able to pay my bills making music. And I don't want to do it. I don't want to sacrifice enjoying it. I don't want to just write music that I don't like to pay my bills. But I also don't really care about being famous. I don't care about getting a record deal. I just want to have fun. And I've found this sweet spot right now where I'm able to do that. I'm able to have fun and make whatever I want and make a living doing it. And that sounds so like, I know I'm lucky, I guess is what I'm saying. Like, that just sounds so, well, I'm doing exactly what I want. But I am, and I'm really grateful for it, is all I'm saying.
Nothing wrong with that.
It took a long time to get there, but yeah, I think intention is everything. Just your intention behind everything matters a lot, and a shallow intention is not going to fulfill you at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
It's just not.
Absolutely. Here's a question for you that I'm pretty sure a lot of people want answered. How do you overcome writer's block?
Well, you kind of just have to write through it. Or if you show up, you have to kind of like write a crappy song in order to get to a better one. So sometimes you just have to keep writing and just don't beat yourself up about something that's not great.
Yeah.
So that's one way to do it. And another, like, sometimes I sit down and you plan out that or like a session. I'll be set up to go write with somebody, and it starts at 11, and you show up and you're like, all right.
Nothing.
And if it doesn't come, I've learned that you really can't force it. If it doesn't come fairly, not that sometimes, I mean, you do have to work on it sometimes, but if nothing comes to you and you've been sitting there for 2 hours, just call it. Just walk away. It's okay.
Yeah.
Come back tomorrow. It'll be there.
Yeah.
And I found that for me, because I'm stubborn, I really don't like being told what to do. And I don't like I don't like scheduling my creativity.
Right. Oh, yeah. That's the worst.
So I find that I get most of my inspiration. I'll be in the shower, or I'll be cleaning my house. I'll be doing something else other than actively planning on writing.
Yeah.
And the song will pop into my head, and then I run to the piano, and those tend to be my more successful songs. Yeah. And I think it's because they're genuine. I don't know where they come from. Honestly, I feel like they come from God. I really do. Because I don't even feel like I have anything to do with it half the time. It just comes through me.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for me, when I used to write, the inspiration came like wee hours of the morning. When everything was quiet, I was just hanging out with myself, and then it would just start flowing to me as if someone's just speaking it to me, like the whole entire verse. It would just, within minutes, I had the whole thing, and I mean, it was just like the most organic thing that could ever happen to me, and that's just what it was. And like you said, sometimes you just gotta get away, get outside the music, go do other things and experience new things, and then it'll just all boom, there it is. And like you said, no time you can't have you can't time it, and you can't have time restraints. Like you can't be like, oh my God, I gotta finish this by 4. Like that doesn't work like that, So
yeah, you just have to let it. It kind of has its own life, and you gotta dance with it.
Yeah. You're right. Absolutely. So let's get a little vain. Oh, we didn't speak about we did. We kind of went into Rayelle and Olly Anna. Olly Anna, Olly, how do you say it?
Olly Anna, yeah. No, listen, when I came up with that, I thought it was so obvious, but people get very confused.
Yeah, they do. I mean, I thought Olly Anna, but so let's get vain here. I want to talk about placements. Can you name some of the bigger name placements that you've gotten? I want to know if you know how many placements you have, and then can you please tell us the difference between Lindsey Ray, Rayelle, and Olly Anna?
Okay. Don't know how many placements.
Okay. A lot.
I don't know. It's
a lot.
Yes, I've been very fortunate. Some of the bigger ones, I guess. I mean, the commercials to me always feel kind of bigger in some way. It's not even that they're necessarily always more money. It's just, I don't know. There's something about a commercial or watching TV, and then it comes on, and I'm like, oh, look, it's me. So those have been, Samsung, T-Mobile, Applebee's, McDonald's, Xbox, Lexus. I don't know.
A lot.
Yeah. And then like a lot of, TV shows and things. This past fall, Grey's Anatomy, that was big because I wanted that for so long.
Really?
Season 16. Nailed it. Finally. Season 16.
Oh my God. Wow. Congratulations.
So long. Yes. Thank you. But really, for years, I have wanted a Grey's Anatomy placement since probably 2008. So I had to be patient.
Wow.
But it happened eventually.
That's cool.
Cool. But yeah, last year was my biggest year because I had Samsung internationally with both my Rayelle and Olly Anna projects, and that blew my mind. That was a lot to process because at first it happened and it was Rayelle, and that alone I was like, oh my gosh, they're introducing their new phone with a song I had written 2 years before that I thought was a dud. I swear to God. I thought that song was nothing ever really happened with it. So I was like, I guess I missed the mark on that one. And then it came around, and all of a sudden that's the Get That song. That was a song that became an international thing.
Yeah.
And then like a month later, they used Olly Anna in another Samsung thing. And well, it's going to be out there now if they watch this. I didn't know if Samsung knew that I was both people.
Really?
I'm not sure.
Oh, well, I guess they might have not known because they're going through your licensing company, right? And I'm pretty sure there's a catalog of songs and that's what they present and they choose.
Yeah, and they, and I try to style myself differently for them, and they look differently. So to answer your question, what the difference is, so Lindsey Ray is me as who I am right now. It's kind of my just normal self, I guess. And then Rayelle started. It was a little more rock at first. But it's evolved, and now it's kind of dancey and pop rock, and even like recently, some of the stuff that I'm about to be releasing for Rayelle this year is a lot more soulful. It's actually a little bit going back to my roots.
That's what I remember.
Yeah.
So hit me up and let me know when that's coming out for sure. I mean, I'll see it on the gram, I'm sure, but yeah.
I'm bringing that back. And then Olly Anna started because like I said, I just wanted to start producing and see what I could do. And I didn't really necessarily plan on what the sound was going to be. The sound is literally the sound of my limitations as a producer. So I didn't really, I don't play bass. I kind of built all these beats, and then I started just, I don't know, like it's kind of rapping, it's kind of singing sometimes, or I don't even really know what to call it, but I did that, and I turned it into the company that I'm with, and they really liked it and said, we don't have anything like this. Can you do more?
Oh,
And so
wow.
I just did a bunch of it.
That's cool.
Yeah, and then it started getting used. Like the first placement I had for Olly Anna that was huge for me was HBO promos for the show Insecure.
Oh, wow.
So the first 3 seasons of Insecure, their promos were they used like 3 different songs of mine, of Olly Anna songs.
That's big, man.
Yeah,
I'm
seriously.
telling you guys, she has a lot. You've heard her. You don't know that you've heard her, but you've heard her. She has a lot, a whole lot, and she's gonna continue to get more. Okay,
Yes,
the ultimate question.
yes.
How I know you said you don't care about the fame, but how is there like a desire in you to be like, I want a record deal, I want to perform, I want to travel and just give more of myself to the people by being there on stage and performing every night? Like how much do you want that?
I mean, sometimes, yeah, I'll be honest. But it's not, I don't necessarily think about it in terms of I want a record deal. It's more that like now that my music has reached a lot of different countries, I'll get messages
Let,
from people
let
in
me
the UK or
Sorry to cut you. Let me say this. Throw the record deal out because nowadays you don't need that. You can do it all by yourself, honestly, with technology and the digital age. So you don't need that. But how much do you want to perform and travel the world and all that?
I do still want to do that. I go back and forth a lot. Sometimes I want it a lot and get sort of overwhelmed by like, how am I going to go for that? Because that's the one thing that I've never really done. And I'm not totally sure how to do it because the thing is, it does help to have a record label when you do that because they're the ones that are initially putting up your tour support, Like, yes, you then go out and earn the money and hopefully eventually are
Right.
in the clear. But when you're someone like me and you're independent, it's you and I don't have a booking agent. So all of those things, like it would take, I would have to like really put some effort into that to go for that. I'm not saying that I couldn't. It's just that I guess I haven't wanted it enough to necessarily go after it that hard yet. But with that said, I do in the last year, I performed a couple of times and I hadn't done it for a lot of years. And every time I was on stage last year, I remembered that I do really like it.
I know you like it.
I
How could
do.
you not? Come on. That's like the best feeling. When you're an artist, that's like the best feeling. And just,
It is.
getting that energy coming from the people and you giving it back, like, you want that. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
You just have to be reminded though, because you're writing and you're doing your other thing and you're kind of in a bubble and you just kind of got to break out of that. You stay somewhere too long, it gets comfortable. And I'm not saying you're comfortable, but you know what I mean? It's like it's uncharted waters now, the stage. But when
Yeah.
you get back up there, you're like, yeah,
Yeah.
this,
No, you're totally right. Well, and the other thing is too that when I first started those projects, Rayelle and Olly Anna, I didn't start them with the intention of going and touring this music. I was just having fun
right.
and putting it out. And I was like, I mean, you can tell if you look at the album artwork. I made the album artwork for my Get That single because I put it out in 2017 and I was like, no one's going to hear this. It doesn't matter. I'll just whip this up real quick. It's like a kindergartner made it. It's really bad.
Hey, but it's artistic, right?
Well, I guess.
It
So
works.
I did on my YouTube the other day, and they were like, "I'm a graphic designer." This is like they were mortified or horrified, not mortified, but I was mortified. Anyway, that's
But they
neither
don't
here.
know. You just told on yourself. They don't know. You could have meant to do that. I mean, have you seen some of the stuff that's been put out? Like, come on, man. Like,
Yeah, no, and
look
I
at
did have
somebody's
that thought.
videos. You know what I mean? Like, it's like a $5 budget video, and it's like blowing up.
Yeah, no,
You know?
you're right. Yeah,
So,
no, not on purpose.
yeah, exactly. You did that on purpose. Well, look, I'm gonna wrap it up. I ain't gonna keep you too long, but it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure interviewing you and catching up.
Yeah, so good to catch
Nice.
up. Thank you for having me.
Yes, no doubt, no doubt. And I'll do like a end of year kind of wrap up thing. I'll probably have you back on at the end of the year. See what you're doing, see where you're at, see how much
Sure.
see if you've traveled the world yet. Just kind of catch up with you.
Yes, and anybody that's watching or listening to, you can find me on Instagram, any of my any version of me. And if you have questions, if I didn't answer anything thoroughly, because I can get a little chatty, I'll admit that. I'm happy to, answer more questions for people. If
One question. Let's okay, answer this thoroughly. What's the proper way to kind of get in touch with a licensing company and try to get your music licensed and put out there?
That's a good question. So for me, I Secret Road came to me back in 2013 or so. But I will say that I know people, there are, like, you can Google licensing companies and start to find them. And most of them have on their website, there will be a section that will tell you how to submit to that company. It's different
Okay.
for every company probably, but just follow the submission and, you probably send in like 3 or 4 songs and they'll review it and then they'll get back to you if they want to. But there's also companies like, I've heard of Taxi. I know some people use that.
Yeah, I know. Been around for a while.
Yeah, yeah. So I know, I mean, I've never used that, but I know some people have. But I would just, I would just Google music licensing companies if you're really passionate about it and submit to all of them.
Okay.
Might as well.
Cool. Can't go wrong there. It's kind of like acting. You got to submit headshots to the agents and get back with you and all that. But cool. All right.
And sorry, wait, one more
Go
thing I
ahead.
just thought of. Also, if you know somebody or are already connected to somebody who is at a licensing company already, write with them and write something with them. And if you write something good with them, now the company knows who you are
Yeah.
and you can start a conversation.
Yeah. That's key.
Yeah.
Well,
Network.
yes, networking is key always. Well, I thank you for your conversation.
You're welcome.
A great conversationalist and a great interviewee, right? Yeah, you were your interviewee, yeah. But yeah, I appreciate you coming on and you drop gems that people can grow from. And that's what it's about. We just want to drop gems, give people the knowledge, be transparent. There's a lot of people out here that just don't know how to do something. They just don't. And a lot of people won't tell them. So
Yeah.
you've told, enough.
Yeah.
They can run with it. Well, I appreciate you. I'm gonna wrap this thing up. We're gonna end this off with a little medley of your music. All right,
Oh,
the medley will ride out to that, and we'll see you next time, episode 6, guys. Tune in. We'll have Iron Dog Jim on. Iron Dog talking about entrepreneurship, brick and mortar businesses, how to run one, how to own one, how to do your thing, how to get fit. We just had fitness. We had Janelle on here, but we're gonna talk fitness again because he's running a brick and mortar business. So, Lindsay, I appreciate you.
thank you. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Hey, you guys, make
You're
sure
welcome.
you go follow her on Instagram. Rayelle, Olly Anna, Lindsey Ray Blue is her tag. Follow me, KoolKard. You know where to find me. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you got some gems from this. Take it back to other people by sharing, hitting the share button, and you can hit that bell, the notification bell, so you know when I'm on again. All right, we're going out to a medley of Lindsey Ray, Olly Anna, and Rayelle, and we out. Peace.